Things are changing. Things are changing fast. The Overton window is moving. And the Overton window basically is what we're allowed to talk about or not talk about. That self-censorship we do to ourselves and the self-censorship we do in society. That's called the Overton window. And that's moving. We can talk about so much more now than we could 6 months ago. This never would have been said 6 months ago. We have a Muslim Home Secretary. And we're thinking to ourselves, oh, do we want a Muslim Home Secretary? Well, we've got one. 6 months ago, a year ago, we all would have, we're not sure. But now we can actually talk about it. Should we have one? She says she's a devout Muslim. What does that mean, devout Muslim? Does that mean she puts Islam ahead of everything else? Which means she puts Islam ahead of the UK and British citizens. Is that what that means? I don't know. But we can talk about it now, can't we? We're still called racist and bigots and Nazis, but no one cares anymore. We can talk about this. This is a conservative newspaper, Conservative Home or Conservative Women. And they're talking about it. They're putting the question out there. And we should be able to put those questions out there if we don't know the answer. And I don't know the answer, but we can talk about it now. And that's a big shift from months ago, from 2 years ago. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but things are moving in the right direction. Of course they are. Politicians now are talking about mass deportation. Some politicians are talking about remigration. This was unheard of 6 months ago. Even Reform 6 months ago was saying mass deportation can't be done. It can't be done. We're not going down that path. 6 months later, we're for mass deportation. We keep pushing our politicians in the direction we want them to go. They may not be perfect. They may not be at the point we want them to be yet. But come on, we've got to celebrate that. We've got to celebrate that very slowly. We're getting our country back. We are. We can see it. Patriots hanging flags. Demonstrators outside migrant hotels. The government are worried violence is going to break out. We're winning. The government's afraid. Politicians are afraid. Especially of losing their seats, by the way. And they're looking at the Overton window and they're going, I'm going to follow the crowd. That's the best way for me to be re-elected and keep my £96,000 a year. Of course they're going to follow the crowd. But start having conversations. Let's have these difficult conversations. Because until we have the conversations, we won't get to the answer. And none of these answers are easy. All these questions are complicated. We need nuance. Should we ban people from office because they're Muslim? Because they're Jewish? Because they're Roman Catholic? We need to have these conversations so we can get to the truth. So we can get to a point where everyone agrees upon the decision. So start having these difficult conversations and don't be afraid anymore. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. See you soon.